What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with some Warframe, and we are once again playing our Let's Play free-to-play series here, where we go through Warframe without using any actual real-life money. Today we're going to be going through a few things. We're going to actually be starting with our Mastery Rank 4 test, which is pretty easy. We're going to get this knocked out of the way here real quick. We've been working hard on getting that Mastery Rank up, leveling up all of these weapons and things, so we are ready to actually become a novice, apparently. So we're going to get a loadout slot, an extra 1,000 daily standing limit that we can gain with our syndicate, an extra 50 void trace storage, and then +1 for a minimum mod capacity. So let's go ahead and hit yes here. Now, the rank 4 test is pretty easy. It is, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've done it. I think it's just a survival against infested, where you have to survive for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Now you can use any of your weapons or your Warframe abilities, and you're just going to have to kill these guys for 1.5 minutes. So this is pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. It's really not a big deal. If you wanted to, you could actually avoid fighting all of these guys if you wanted to. You can just use your parkour skills and stay away from them. But this is pretty easy. We can just hack and slash our way through here with the guillotine as we go to reload. And I guess I can kind of commentate here because this is a pretty easy, straightforward mastery test. There's not a whole lot of stuff to do here. So we're Mastery Rank 4, which is going to actually open up quite a few weapons and things in the market for us, which we're going to go over here in a little bit. We'll be able to take a look at some of those items. We actually will be able to finally unlock the Heck shotgun, which is going to prove vital to some of our other playing in the game. I actually do have a new primary weapon already ready to go in the Foundry. We'll talk about that here in a minute, because we do have the Boltor at level 30, so we want to switch to something else so that we can continue to progress our Mastery Rank. We want to try to get up to Mastery Rank 6 or 7 as quickly as possible, because there are some pretty cool items that are going to open up for us at those levels. But even here at Mastery Rank 4, once we finish this test, we're going to have a lot of options available for new weapons and things that we can use. And you're actually getting to a point in the game at Mastery Rank 4 where you have a good variety of things you can choose from. And we've already gone through, we just finished Phobos, which I'll talk about here toward the end of the video. And we're going to move on to Ceres. Mars is pretty much all done except for the fight with Krill, which we need to do in order to get to the Ceres node. And then we also have the Void unlocked. So a lot of cool stuff going on right now with our playthrough. And again, we've done this completely free without actually spending any money or platinum or anything at all. So there we are. We are Mastery Rank 4. And I just want to show you guys a star map here real quick. You can see we've actually made it to Phobos. I'm going to go back to Mars really fast. And you can see the Phobos junction. We had to defeat 150 enemies in one mission on Mars. That's pretty easy to do on either an excavation or you can do a survival mission. Those are really, really easy to do. Scan 3 fragments. That's pretty simple. You just got to look for those glowing cephalon fragments in the missions. You'll run across them just playing through the planet normally, so not too hard to get. And then we have to do 3 Lith Void Relics. So that's essentially the Tier 1 Void Relics. We did get our Void Relic segment opened up when we got to Mars. I'll kind of show you guys what that is here in just a second. But that's pretty easy. You just have to run 3 lower level tier Void Relics. I would go for the Exterminates. They're really, really easy. And so we're pretty much done with Mars for the most part. We opened up Wahiba, which I have another video coming on that one, which is a really good farming spot to get some credits. We have the Ceres Junction now. All we have to do to get through that is defeat Lieutenant Krill at war. He's not that tough of a boss. Honestly, he's kind of annoying because he does have some phases that you have to go through to fight him. And he's going to be dropping parts for the Frost Warframe. So we're definitely going to farm him in order to get Frost, because Frost is one of the best frames you can get in the game. He's a really tanky frame, and he's going to have some abilities that come in handy on later missions. So then we'll get to go to Ceres, which will bring us one step closer to getting to Jupiter, which is when the game is going to slow down a little bit, and we're going to have to grind a little bit and start farming here and there for a few things. To continue getting through it. Because Jupiter, Saturn is kind of where the game starts to slow down a little bit. We've gotten here pretty quickly to Mars and even Phobos, which I've actually been working on Phobos, and you can see I have all of Phobos except for the Arcwing mission done. We're going to do our Arcwing quest pretty soon so we can get that, and I'll definitely be bringing you guys along for all of that. And we have Iliad here, where we fight the Sergeant. He is not technically a boss because he doesn't have like a boss cutscene or drop any specific boss mods or items or anything. He's just kind of like a generic, bigger corpus guy. You can actually, with Excalibur, you can stun him with Radial Blind and then just beat the crap out of him with your melee and kill him about 4 or 5 hits. Either that or fight him from a distance with your weapon. He just teleports around the map. He's very easy to kill. We actually farm the mag Warframe from him, and I have those parts. I'm going to show you guys those here in a second. And also, once we get through Phobos, we open up the first bits of the Void. Now, they've changed the Void a little bit. It used to be you went in using Void keys, and that's where some of the prime part farming was. But now the Void has 4 separate entrances from Neptune, Sedna, Phobos, and Europa. So these first few missions here are going to be the easier Void missions. The harder ones are going to open off Europa and Neptune and Sedna. And now that we have the Void open, we can actually go in and start farming Argon crystals, which will allow us to build some higher quality items once we start getting those blueprints. Alright, that's enough about the star chart. You guys are just going to show you guys the progress so far. Let's run down to the Foundry we'll run to the Foundry first, then we're going to look in the market for just a second, because I want to show you guys some of the stuff that's unlocked for us. So we're doing pretty good. We have quite a few items we've gathered. We still need to get some further in the planet star chart so we can get some more crafting materials that we currently need, like auric and cells. I went ahead and bought the bow blueprint and also the kunai blueprint, because when you have both of those weapons, you can combine them into another weapon. So right now those are just kind of sitting in here for later mastery rank fodder, so we can use those. Now we have a second Furus as well, so we can build, actually since we hit mastery rank 4, we can now build the Ak Furus. I still have to get my main Furus up to level 30 though before we can do that. But we have a lot of stuff sitting here that we can use later on. And one of the things you want to do is when you're crafting weapons, have them ready to go before you're going to need them. So if you can build something now, you just build it in your foundry and leave it there so it doesn't take up an inventory slot. You can see the Lex Prime, we actually only need one more part to build that. But here's the Mag Warframe. And I farmed Mag off of the Sergeant boss. It took me maybe, I want to say 7 runs this time. And he's a really quick boss. You can farm him in under 5 minutes a run. So this didn't take very long. And you can see we got the chassis, then your optics and systems. You get the blueprint, which you buy from the market, of course. And we're going to need an auric and cell to build Mag, so we don't quite have that yet. And really, her parts are not too bad. The only problem we have here is we need a neural sensor, which we can get at Jupiter, so that's just another reason we need to continue progressing through the star chart and get to Jupiter a little bit more quickly. But we can go ahead, actually I'm going to go ahead and build her systems and build her chassis so that they're ready to go. And your optics will just have to wait. So we'll be able to build Mag pretty soon. We'll have another Warframe to add to our arsenal. And we also finally got enough plastids, which you get plastids to drop on Phobos. So we were able to farm these up really quickly, and we were able to actually get Rhino systems finished. So we're going to build those right now. So after 12 hours, which will be tomorrow sometime after, we go to bed and sleep and all that, because this is not game, this is like general time, it doesn't count game time. So this will be ready to go first tomorrow. We'll actually be able to start crafting Rhino. Now, unfortunately, he does take 72 hours to complete his build. That's one of the minor complaints I do have about Warframe in general, is that some of the bigger items that you make, of course, if you're not paying for it, it's going to take you have to wait 3 full days before you can actually start playing with Rhino. But we will have a second Warframe with Rhino, and then we'll be able to build Mag pretty quickly after that. So we're going to have 3 Warframes we'll be able to choose from to use in our missions. We'll have to get them leveled up, of course, but that's just more mastery rank that we're going to have to go after. And then we should be getting Frost pretty soon as well once we get to that Krill on Mars, which will be pretty quick. Also, and this is just from running like the Tier 1 Prime part missions, like doing the Lift Fishers. We've actually got to the point where we have a Tigress Prime Blueprint, which is one of the rare items in the game. This is a ridiculously amazing shotgun, and we already got the barrel to drop as well. So there's some good stuff that drops from the Tier 1 Fishers. You got a Valkyrie Prime Blueprint. I sold a lot of Prime parts as well, so we can get some Ducats for Barrow Katir when he gets here. And we got the Necros Prime Chassis. You see there are the Argon Crystals, what I was telling you about before. Those are an item you find in the Void missions. So we're going to be doing a little Void farming as well. But overall, we're doing pretty good. Now, I did mention that I got the Boltor to level 30, so I had actually already built the Karak, which is a pretty solid rifle. So we're going to go ahead and claim that now. We're going to equip that here in just a minute, and then we're going to kind of talk about the market a little bit. So, but you can see here we got a lot of melee weapons. I actually sold the Ortho, so I leveled it up and sold it. I'm using the Galatine right now. We have the Chronos, the Dual Skana, and we also got a blueprint for the Ceramic Dagger. This dropped from an alert mission on Mercury, so that was a free blueprint that didn't cost much to build. It's going to be a mastery rank fodder weapon. And when I say mastery rank fodder, I basically mean stuff you're gonna get and use it till it's level 30 to get you the affinity to boost your mastery rank level, and then you're gonna just sell it for credits. There's very few of these items right now that we're going to keep. We're going to take the bow and the kunai once we get those created and leveled up to 30, and we're going to combine those into another weapon that you can build, and then with the Furus we're going to build that into another weapon as well. So that's kind of how things are going right now. We're doing pretty good. The Boltor I think I'm actually going to hang on to for now, because you can combine that with something else later on, and we have extra weapon slots, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. But let's go ahead and equip Carrick. I don't think we'll be able to put anything on it. Now you do see the nice thing is, even at 0 we now have a base capacity of 4. That just comes from our mastery rank, and now whatever your mastery rank is, it gives you a little bit of extra slotting capacity. I don't really think we have anything that's even worth equipping for 4 though, so we're just gonna leave this off until we get, oh, you know, we do have a polarity there we could try to match with something, but I don't think I have any good mod. Well, speed trigger, or we could actually put a speed trigger on there. That might work pretty good. So that's going to be our new weapon we're going to start working on. We have the Furus at rank 26, so not too much further on that. And then we have the Galatine, which the Galatine is a really powerful melee weapon that's very easy to build early on. It looks really cool, and it's about twice the size of your Warframe. The only problem with the Galatine is it's kind of a slow melee weapon. It does a ton of damage, but it's very, very slow. So I'm not a huge fan of it. It's kind of fun to use to kill things quickly. Like with the Sergeant, you can kill him in 4 or 5 swings with it. But I'm definitely going to be going for a quicker type sword weapon next time. But let's talk about the Void Relic segment. We actually got this unlocked when we came to Mars. So you can see here, this is an area you can come and you can look at all of your collected Void Relics. We don't have any for Neo or Axie yet, because we haven't made it to those planets where those drop. We did get a Meso Relic, which I believe this dropped for me on Mars. We're going to start getting into the Meso tier now, because it's a little, you're moving up in difficulty as you go up into these higher planets. Then you've also got the Lith. We have plenty of these. These drop from doing the tier 1, like the excavations and things on the early planets. And just you can kind of see those there, where their drop tables are. So pretty good there. Now we also now are able to refine our Void Relics, and what that means is you can actually put Void Traces in them, which will give you a higher chance at winning some items. So for example, I think this is the Lift T1 Relic. We have 3 of those. Now if we want to have a better chance at getting the Ballistica Prime or the Valkyr Prime, we already have a Tiger's Prime blueprint. We can make this a Radiant Relic, and you can see there when you click on that. Okay, if I can click on, there we go. You can see now we actually have a really good chance of getting the Valkyr Mirror Optics blueprint. That came up quite a bit from what it used to be. So that's why you want to refine these, because most of the time your rarer items are going to be down towards the bottom. I'm also going to do, I'll make this a flawless. That's all we can afford right now. And now that it's flawless, we have a little bit better chance at getting some of these bottom tier items. It'd be nice to get that Valkyr Prime blueprint. But you can see there, you can get quite a few decent drops, and we're also going to go after these Forma. We have 2 Forma blueprints already, which are going to come in handy once we can start to craft those. But that's the Void Relic segment in a nutshell. It's kind of a pretty quick and dirty little look at it there. Alright, so now we're going to go up to the market. Oh, the other thing we did do is we got our Syndicate level up 1, so that was kind of fun. We're almost up to the 2nd rank in our Syndicate. But now there's a few weapons we're going to want to go for, and especially now that we have the Wahiba Dark Sector unlocked, we can farm credits somewhat effectively now. Like I said, I have another video coming on that. You can get about 17,000 credits for every 5-minute run you do on there, so spend an hour or 2 there farming credits, you can build up a nice little base. before we move on to the other planets. But I want to go to primary weapons. You can see we still have some stuff, like I mentioned, Mastery Rank 6 and 7. That's when a lot of, even some of the higher tier guns will start to unlock for us. But you can see we have a pretty good variety open. Now we still could buy the Bratton. This is a credit weapon. This is a good gun, and this is more than just, I wouldn't even say this is Mastery Rank fodder. This is a pretty solid rifle you can get, which we can definitely check out later on in our playthrough. But at this point, you know, there's plenty of weapons. We still need to get a little bit further in the planet chart before we can build some of these, but there's still some really good weapons available. The Grikata, but now you notice, I talked about these the last time, now the items such as the Heck and the Sobek are open, and the Heck is one of the most powerful weapons in the game. You can see the puncture damage there, even the slash damage is pretty high. And this is something we can already craft. We're going to buy this blueprint. We're going to start crafting this because this is a weapon we're going to use quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase that. And see what else they have available. The Latron is a good, if you like a single shot weapon, this is kind of fun. But again, we'd have to farm up some plastids on Phobos. So, and you may want to, like the Mark 1 Paris, this is kind of a fun, if you want to just try a boa weapon out, it's only 15,000 credits, and that's easy. Yes, we're definitely going to pick that up in the future and use that for some Mastery Rank fodder. Same thing with the Mark 1 Strun as a shotgun, and then the normal Strun, which you can also buy. Now there is the normal Paris, which you can purchase, and we wouldn't be able to build this yet, but once we get a couple more planets in, we'll be able to pick up that. So a lot of stuff to look forward to. Now the Sobek is another shotgun weapon. If you prefer something that's going to have a bigger magazine, the only one problem that the Heck does have is it has a very small magazine, so you get penalized for missing shots. With the Sobek, this is kind of an auto shotgun. You can just hold down the trigger and mow enemies down with it, and you do get a 20 round magazine on it. And both the Sobek and the Heck will work with our Syndicate mods that we're going to get through Steel Meridian. So both of these are excellent weapon choices, but we already bought the Heck, so we're going to use that. You know, we can get this later for sure. It's one of my favorite weapons in the game, but just kind of wanted to show that to you guys. Those both unlocked at Mastery Rank 4. And then once we get to Mastery Rank 6, we're going to want to go for the Soma. That's a really solid weapon with a very high critical chance. So definitely some stuff we want to look at here. The Tiburon is a really good weapon, but you see you need a Latron to build it, and you also need a Forma. And then also the Tigress is going to be a gun that's... Once we get to Saturn and start unlocking Auric cells, we can probably build this if we haven't got the Tigress Prime to drop fully. So just kind of giving you guys a look at some of the stuff. The Volcar, we actually will get a blueprint for this from going to the next node, and we can already farm that up on Phobos and build that. Volcar is a pretty good sniper rifle that we'll make some use of once we get that going. So doing pretty good in the progression. We're on our way to having 2 new Warframes, and just in general, progressing through and getting quite a bit of stuff in terms of gear and getting that mastery rank up. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I'm actually going to tack on the boss fight with the Sergeant here at the end. So if you guys want to watch that just to see how easy he is to kill, that's only going to be like a minute or 2 of extra footage here, so you guys can check that out. If not, no big deal. Anyways, guys, as always, thank you for watching. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you again next time.
won't be bothering us anymore. Let's get out of here.